Hello, is Pac-Man the first roguelike, or is Rogue the first Pac-Man? Both Pac-Man and the game Rogue, which you may know as the beginning of the roguelike genre, both Pac-Man and Rogue came out in 1980. This is actually version 3.6.1 of Rogue, which came out in 1981, but the original version of Rogue is thought to have come out sometime in 1980. This was going out in college, university computer labs, and so forth. And you'll notice here I am in what we'll find is a maze, and there's a pattern of dots on the floor of this maze, and there are creatures that you can either pursue and try to defeat, or that you may have to flee from. This bee is a monster. What kind of monster? Oh, it's a bat. B for bat. So it's not a ghost like you would face in Pac-Man, but it's a bat. There are no ghosts in Rogue. There are undead though. There's a V. If you run into a letter V, that's a vampire. If you run into a letter Z, that's a zombie. So you've got dot patterns in this maze, and you've got power-ups like this exclamation mark is a black potion. And if I consume this power-up by quaffing it, it made me feel warm all over. Maybe that was a healing potion. I don't remember. Anyway, so there are these odd similarities between these two games that both came out in 1980. I'm sure you know what Pac-Man looks like. But again, a game that came out in 1980, we've got a maze filled with a pattern of dots, and we've got monsters that are either chasing me, as they are right now, or if I eat a power-up, I'm chasing them. All the exact same stuff you do in Rogue, as a matter of fact. There are these power-ups that I ate. There's treasures like this cherry fruit, which maybe I can... Oh, no. So, again, you've got a maze, pattern of dots, power-ups, and monsters that you alternately may chase or be pursued by. I'm playing with a keyboard right now, that's my excuse. So is this Pac-Man or is it Rogue? I don't know. I do know this is Rogue. But it could be almost Pac-Man, right? Incidentally, I read on Wikipedia today, I hadn't known this before, I think they chose the @ symbol for the character in Rogue, because it was stood for, they thought, where you're at. So the @ is where you're at. This K is a kobold. Can I defeat? I defeated the kobold. Yeah, so that's those two games. Now, that could all be a coincidence. I don't think Toru Iwatani, for instance, in Japan, creating this game. Pac-Man came out in July in the arcades in July 1980 in Japan. I don't think they would have been too likely to know about Rogue, which was coming out in 1980 in computer labs, I think mostly in the United States at universities. Probably didn't know about that. Did the three creators of Rogue at the university in California, I think, did they know about the arcade game Pac-Man yet when they were making this? Hard to say. They don't say that they did anywhere that I've seen. And so we can just probably figure these two teams of creators did not know what the other team was cooking up, and this is a coincidence. Now, there is something that's a little more suspicious between these two games in a later version, because Rogue, one of the original creators of Rogue, decided to publish a retail version in 1984, and they had trouble selling that they got Epyx, who was a successful game publisher, to become a publisher and start publishing it in 1985. And that 1985 Epyx version is on Steam, and you can buy it. I have it here. It was for DOS, or one version at least was for DOS. What's my rogue's name? Pac. Oh, look at that, yellow. So you had color in this version of Rogue, and they changed the @ symbol. It's no longer where I'm at. It's a yellow smiley face. This was what they did in 1984. Well, at least one of the original creators of Rogue gave us a yellow smiley face in Rogue, and now the dots are green. That's a little interesting. They aren't yellow, they're green. But still, where have we seen a yellow smiley face navigating a maze, chasing or being chased by monsters amongst patterns of dots and scattered power-ups? Well, you tell me. Oh, I'm never gonna get the cherries. No. So that's my conspiracy theory. I don't know. I mean, by 1984, everybody knew what Pac-Man was, right? Everybody knew Pac-Man. Pac-mania. Pac-Man fever had swept the globe. So it can't be a coincidence that they decided to change it to a yellow smiley face, right? I mean, come on. Come on. You know what they knew what Pac-Man was. This is a Pac-Man just turned to face the screen. That's all that is. Anyway, so there are all these interesting coincidences. That's about all I have, though. A conspiracy theory of collusion between Pac-Man and Rogue. Now, this is modern Angband. Angband derives from a game called Moria, which was one of the first roguelikes. That is, the games that were directly inspired by Rogue. This is the current version of Angband, version 4.2.4. I have sort of messed around with the settings to make it look a little retro, but it's modern Angband. Now, I was going to see if I could find any undead just to show that there are undead in these games. Currently, I only have these T's in that room to my east, which are snow trolls. They are not undead. And they're cold hounds, which are the capital Z's. Those are not undead. However, when I was messing around on another save, oh, there's somebody. I did happen to run into a big mob of monsters to the east somewhere. Maybe there's some undead over there. What's this guy? That's not an undead, that's a kobold. Okay, I didn't go that far. Where were they? It's a big, just stream of characters came after me before. Shoot. Maybe they're over here. No, but here's this kobold. Well, the kobold's dead. Where are all your bigger, scarier undead friends, Mr. Kobold? Oh, that's not... Those are just people. How did I attract that huge mob of people on my other play of this? I must have copied my save game. I don't know how I did that. What was I doing? I was experimenting with trying to reproduce a weird bug, but there's a D. What's a D? Uh-oh. A trapper. Well, you're not an undead. A D is a young green dragon. Well, that's not a ghost. You're not a ghost. But this dot maze is much larger than a Pac-Man screen, of course. You're a red frog. Well, this has been a bit of a bust. I was sure I could find some kind of undead to continue the similarity between roguelike games and Pac-Man. What the heck is an S? Oh, there's an undead, a skeleton Etten. an animated form of a massive two-headed troll. This evil undead troll. So there you go. That's... I am maintaining that this is essentially a Pac-Man ghost. This little S right here above my @ sign. That is a Pac-Man ghost. It's the same darn thing. We're in a Pac maze that is actually randomly generated. And, yeah, there you go. And this is a game that continues from Rogue and continues to this day. So... oh no. Again, the question is, if they both came out in 1980, they both have these weird characters going around these dot mazes, pursuing or being pursued by undead creatures. Is Pac-Man the first roguelike, or is Rogue the first Pac-like? I leave it to you, the viewer, to tell me. I'm never gonna get those darn fruits. Oh, heck. Not even close. I'm really bad at Pac-Man, by the way. I suppose I'm better at Rogue and Angband and so forth. So is this Skeleton-etin, is that Inky, Blinky, Pinky, or Dot? Or what are their names? Oh, no. Sue, no, that's Miss Pac-Man. Anyway. Wow. Oh, there it is. Oh, it teleported. Weird. Oh, it's teleporting. It's teleporting other creatures all over the place. That's pretty strange. Well, that doesn't happen in Pac-Man, but still, the principle's the same. It's all Pac-Man, or Pac-Man is all Rogue. That's what I say. Look at that smiley face. That's a Pac-Man. You can't deny it. That's a power pill I just got in the form of a scroll that I can read, which enchanted my armor. So, you know, just imagine Pac-Man getting enchanted, or I don't know. That's what we're dealing with here. I have an aquamarine potion. I can drink it pretending it's a power pill, and a cloak of darkness falls around me. Well, that never happens to Pac-Man, but you can see the obvious similarities. So there you go, my little Pac-Man over there and my big Pac-Man here. Now that little Pac-Man did not come along until 1980 when they decided to change the old @ sign. The old @ sign to the smiley face for the commercial release. I guess, I don't know, maybe they thought that would be more commercially attractive to people. It felt more like a graphic, but then again, what are they thinking? They're thinking it looks like Pac-Man. Pac-Man's where the money is. Pac-Man had made $1 bajillion by 1984. So, you know, they knew what was up. They knew this was a Pac-Man game, essentially. They're just trying to make that obvious to people. I don't think it really worked. Apparently, the commercial version of Rogue didn't do gangbusters or anything, but it was just no Pac-Man, shall we say. It's a different kind of game. And I guess just this is an example of, you know, what, convergent evolution, just simultaneous invention of this dot maze, undead, death trap game. But yeah, I think that's pretty clear. Pretty clear that these are essentially the same game, right? Of course. Okay, well, thanks for watching this weird little ramble. It was just a thought I had. And That's about as far as I can take it. But let me know if you think that we should call Pac-Man a roguelike, or if we should call Rogue and Moria and Angband, should we call those Pac-likes? Or maybe we shouldn't do either of those, but it's fun to think about anyway. So thanks for watching this silly little idea of mine, and Merry Christmas. Good night.